Hey, what's going on, you Icky Igloo Buff? Before we get into today's deck, I did want to mention that I'm doing a 12-hour live stream with the release of Battle Styles this Thursday, March 18th. I think it's going to be the 18th. Yeah, March 18th, 12 p.m. Eastern is when I'm going to be starting it up. 12-hour live stream, giving away a booster box as well as 200 codes of Battle Styles. So if you guys are wanting to get some of those new cards, be sure to stop by. First link in the description, give it a click, give it a follow. 12 p.m. Eastern, March 18th, 12-hour live stream, Battle Styles release. Going to be playing with all the new cards, seeing what the best Urshifu is. It's going to be a great time, so make sure you check it out. Today we're playing some games with the Ditto box deck. So the way this deck works is Ditto V has that ability, V transformation, and we can swap it for a V Pokemon in our discard pile and put that as the Ditto with all the energy that we had on the Ditto. It retains all the same effects and all that. But now we switched to a different Pokemon. So the way we abuse this is we have stuff like Rapier V to abuse fighting weak Pokemon. We got the water typing through Melodic V, Psychic typing through Indeedee V, and then we have stuff like Talonflame V with 3 energy for a 160 can always be really nice. We got the Cramorant for similar to the Talonflame, except we don't lose all the energy. And also Talonflame offers us that early game fast flight sometimes. Cramorant, of course, with the Spit Shot to snipe stuff like Dedennes or put some pressure on whatever opponent's setting up can always be really nice as well. And then we have the Incineroar V with that Grand Flame to help us set up like 2 threats on the board at once instead of like weathering into one attack or attacking with it and then having no backup while we're not getting one hit KO. So Grand Flame is really nice. It helps us set up 2 threats. And then we have the Flare Blitzer for 220, which has also been really nice. There's a Heatran GX in here to sometimes just go for a big hot burn GX if our opponent kind of ignores what we have our energy on. Double in here to help close out games. And then there's the Ditto VMAX, which is specifically really good against Zacians for the most part, because we can evolve to the Ditto VMAX with the 320 HP, so it's like a really big Pokemon that they have to deal with. And with that max transformation attack, which allows us to copy one of our opponent's attacks. So copying Brave Blade against the Zacian is really good because we knock out their Zacian. And then we're 320 HP, so we're pretty big and hard to deal with. That is it for our attackers. The rest of it's pretty simple as far as Welder decks go. Then, 4 Welder, 10 Fire, 4 Hearth. Got 4 Aurora in here, of course, so we can get access to the type of energies we need for the Rhyperior, the Melodic, and the Indeedee. Or I guess if we ever want to singly return with the Dene, we can do that. 2 Stamp, 2 Boss. Like I said, everything pretty simple as far as that goes for Welder decks. And that's it. So let's go ahead and let's get into some games. All right, getting into our first one here. We do have to open up the Ditto. I guess I could have opened Cramorant. We're going to open the Ditto here, though. Opponent flips over a Dubwool. Doesn't give us a whole bunch of intel on what my opponent is playing. But I think we should just be safe to go, like, attach, discard the Cram. I want to just pass, but that feels a little bit risky, so I could bench. No, we can't bench the ball because we have to come for just pass. We're just going to go ahead and say, all right, you can't knock us out this turn. Dubwool, what is Dubwool played in? I mean, I'm playing a double, so we could be playing a mirror match. I don't think they can do 170 with 3 energy, though. Oh, it's probably Rillaboom Executor, actually. Okay, so that's fine. Yep. All right, so they definitely can't knock us out next turn, so we'll be just fine. There's the Grookey grab. They got the Rillaboom Executor in play. That's fine. And yeah, we can get a turn 1. We should be able to pretty easily get a turn 1 knockout here on this Rillaboom Executor. We need to get access to our Heatran would work. There's a lot of things that would work. We could do Heatran. We could do the Incineroar with the second attack. Talonflame is a great one actually as well. So we can like combat this and we'll just discard that Talonflame. Grab the Dene. Attach active and then Dede change. Discard Talonflame. Yeah, we've got quite a few ways to actually pull off the attack this turn. Ooh. Talonflame, it's already lined up for Talonflame. I wouldn't mind just going into Talonflame. We draw 3 prize cards, so then this would actually knock out Talonflame. We do 210. Is there a better... I think there's got to be a better option to attack with. Maybe not. I don't know if I want to start with Pokegear or start with... We could like Quick Ball the Switch. Let's take a look. Don't think anything actually survives. Oh, Incineroar would survive, actually. And we have 2 Hearth. We priced 2 Hearth. We have 3 Quick Balls. So we could grab Incineroar. Crobat for 2. Okay. Welder active. Yeah, using Incineroar here. Oh, Incineroar hits itself, though, doesn't it? Oh, we do 30 to ourselves with Incineroar. So that actually wouldn't change anything. All right, never mind. So they'll knock out my Ditto, or it'll be a Talonflame, I guess, at that point. I guess I maybe should have only welded one energy here, actually. That's right, Incineroar hits itself. I forgot what Flare Blizzard fully does. Now I gotta deal with this double. Which means we pretty much have to get Rhyperior set up. That's gonna be difficult, actually. So I should have gone like Quick Ball. I should have just held the Quick Ball and just gone for Crobat into Welder. All right. I mean, I think we still have to go for this knockout. Although it's gonna hurt when we get knocked out back. I don't want to bench either of those. Double wouldn't be able to return the knockout. All right, Brightwing. Yeah, but I should have done. Let's try this. What I should have done is I should have held the Quick Ball, and we probably should have welded just for one. And we could have benched a fresh Ditto here instead. These are some good draws though, off the prize cards. Yeah, oh, those are really great draws. So really great cards to get off the prize cards. But Rhyperior doesn't get the one-hit KO here. We could hit for, man, this is actually awkward. This double is like really annoying. I could have like maybe I should have benched my own double here, or just hit their double with my double, because their double can't KO my double, and we both just hit here, hitting each other's doubles with doubles. But my double hits first, which is relevant. So I could have maybe benched the double here and done that. I also could have actually benched Incineroar, and we could have gone with a Grand Flame next turn and then loaded up a Ditto. That would have been fine as well, I think. And Grand Flame would have softened it up to the point where we could get the knockout next turn with the Flare Blitzer or whatever the Ditto could do. So I probably should have benched it, because now I need a switch all of a sudden, right? Because now I need a switch, which I don't want to have to try and find. So that's awkward, because now I need to move the Crobat or the Dedenne. So I probably should have benched one of these, and I think the Incineroar would have been the way to go for sure. Should have benched Incineroar. Yeah, should have benched Incineroar last turn. Load up the Ditto this turn. Ooh, they have a Cape, though. So now I don't think this into this would actually even KO it, no. So now we should go with the double hit. We know double won't get knocked out. All right, send up. Oh, Crobat, I guess. There's the Rhyperior now. I'm gonna go Hearth first. How much energy do I have left? Only 2 switch left, so we might have to Dedenne change to find the switch, to be honest. So I think I'm gonna leave 1 fire in the deck. Stand out 1. Pokegear. Boss. I don't wouldn't mind it in the discard pile, so I could Gauss for it later. Gear again. There's the Welder. Okay. Welder to the double. Maybe I shouldn't have even Hearth at all, to be honest. And we whiffed the switch, so now things get really awkward for us. I don't even know. Oh, what can we even do here? I think I benched this and I attach the Aurora to the Ditto and passed. We could V-transform into the Rhyperior next turn and hit him with that Rock Artillery, but we need a Welder. So we basically have to top deck Welder or Quick Ball for Gauss, or top deck Gauss or Dedenne change, I guess. But Dedenne change loses our energy. We still have 2 energy in the... I believe we have 2 energy. No, I think we drew into one of them, so we have 1 energy left in the deck. All right, this has gotten very awkward. Pretty quick here. Here's a reset stamp. We don't mind that. It puts the energy back into the deck, which is actually a big deal. So that's perfect, actually, that the energy went back to the deck. So now I can like kind of Dedenne change a little bit more freely. I still don't love the spot we're in, but I feel like it puts us in a little bit better of a spot that they did do that. I think our plan definitely has to be that heavy Rock Artillery. We are weak to grass, though, which makes this really awkward if they like, go set up a Rillaboom Executor or something here. So all of a sudden, that might not have to be our plan. Our double would hit for 240, but they have way more than 240 HP, even after they draw these 2 prize cards. Maybe they just won't be able to put another attacker in play here. Maybe they'll just whiff putting attacker. They tag called and didn't grab another Rillaboom Executor. There's a Crobat, but they might not actually have an attacker set up. Yeah, they attach to the Crobat. Okay, this is perfect. So now we can stamp them to 2. That's our game plan now. Rock Artillery, stamp to 2. Go from there. All right. I mean, yeah, set up the Ditto. Check Pokegear first, I think. There's the reset stamp. So Pokegear check. Welder. Okay, so now we can Hearth away Hearth to get the fires. If not, we would have quick balled and grabbed a Dedenne. We do need a hidden energy for turns still, though. To be able to use the Rock Artillery. Did not get the energy yet. Okay. Pokegear. Don't think I need Welders anymore. Or, like, I think it's fine for me to thin it out of the deck, basically. We could switch into Heatran, but that would still require another energy. We can't do it with 5. So, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to grab Heatran here. I'm going to go ahead and grab the... Oh, Dedenne. I have to grab Dedenne here. Dedenne, stamp to 2. Dedenne change. Have to draw into an energy here. We have 2 energy left, I think. We have to draw an energy here. Okay, we got the energy. Quick ball away this. I'm gonna thin out the deck a little bit here. Grab like, oh, I still have the VMAX actually. Maybe I should have kept the calm around. I don't know. The VMAX would only be able to what, do 240 with the VMAX? The VMAX doesn't make any sense in this situation. Grabbing DD. Aurora, get rid of Indeedee. V transformation, get out that Rhyperior V. And then Heavy Rock Artillery for the knockout. That fighting weakness coming in clutch here. But we are weak to grass, and our opponent does have that grass energy on their Crobat. So, I mean, we're not in the best spot ever still. It's still a little bit iffy because our opponent can just go Rowlet on Executor. They could go double, and there's a quick ball. They do need an energy, though. They do need an energy. They don't have it all maybe yet. There's a double. And there's the... All right. They get it. They got it this time. It was close, though. We got the stamp. We get the welder. Maybe could have played the early game a little bit differently, but it felt fine. I was a little bit iffy on my decisions of what I wanted to go with off the rip. And in the end, we take the L here. This feels like it's probably a pretty rough matchup because doubles are just hard for us to deal with. I don't know, of course, but it feels pretty rough. All right, getting into our first one. We unfortunately open up our Eldegoss, which is not great. It's not the worst thing ever. The rest of the hand is okay, especially if this Pokegear finds us a Welder. So that's going to be the first thing we check here. We're up against Gardevoir B. Okay. So they're weak to metal. We don't play any metal Pokemon to really abuse that weakness of our opponents. Just have to start swinging and see how this one goes. I have no idea what to expect. I'm sure they play quite a bit of healing. So we're going to check this first. No Welder. So, how do we want to go about this? Quick ball away. Ditto VMAX actually seems like it could be pretty good, though. I don't remember how much damage they actually do. I actually don't remember what their attack does either. But Ditto VMAX seems like it could be good, but I think we have to give it up here. Plan to attack with... I don't even know. We could use Crobat here, but I think I'm just gonna grab a Ditto and then Dead-Eye change. Grab a Ditto, bench, Aurora, get rid of Fire. We could try and use the Incineroar on the turn 1 here, to be honest. Actually, no, we want to use... No, I want to save Crobat. I want to save Crobat. Because if I draw into like a hand where I want to keep some of the pieces, Crobating for plus more cards is always really nice. Ooh, this might be one of those hands where we do want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and calm away. This is awkward. I'm going to go switch. Calm away the Indeedee. Grab the Crobat. Viridian Forest away this. Grab a Fire. And then Crobat for 3. We'll see. If not... Okay, we got the Welder. Welder to Ditto. And we got a decent amount of options here for attacks, I think, as well. We actually even take away their energy with the Drill Run, which I almost really like. I don't know how they plan to set up this Gardevoir at all, to be honest. So I kind of like the idea of the Drill Run. I'm just going to grab another Ditto so I can attach these Auroras to it and give ourselves some time. And then V transformation into the Rhyperior and Drill Run. Like, I don't know how they plan to get energy on their Gardevoir to get the Gardevoir VMAX. I think takes Psychic Colors to attack, if I remember correctly. Of course, I don't run into Gardevoir VMAX very often, so I'm not too familiar with its attacks. Turns out they play Crushing Hammer, though. I'm not too familiar with its attacks, but that sounds kind of hard to set up. I guess they could play like Turbo Patch or Rose would be the two things I can think of. There's a boss to stall, but we've got the switch and we've got the energy, so that just might be game on this next turn. Yeah, it looks like they play Rose as their way to set up the energy, but I think we're just going to walk away with the dub here already. Nope, there's a Crobat. Okay, they're still in it. Might be able to get the knockout on this Gardevoir next turn, though. There's the Silvally. Okay, they're still definitely in the game. At first, I was like, all right, this one's done. Wrap it up. But only a magical shot, so should be able to get that knockout, no problem. Or here, get rid of... I kind of want to keep it around, but I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of the Baby Volk. My bench space is getting a little bit tight here, because we're going to want to get another Ditto down next turn, and then the next Dedenne might make its way down, so... There's we prize 2 Ditto, and hey, there they both are. Happy to come out of the prize cards. Yeah, we got the switch though, so we can reset our Rhyperior. We don't want to burn this energy to Hard Retreat, though. That doesn't sound great. Unless we top deck like a boss, then we can go switch Hard Retreat, KO their next Gardevoir. And if we just keep their Gardevoirs out of play constantly, we'll probably be able to just win that way. So getting a top deck boss would be kind of insane. That'd be kind of crazy. Crazy good top deck. If not, we'll have to find out something else to do, but I'm sure we can figure it out. We could also go with like a fast flight. We could fast flight this hand. We could attach to a Ditto V transformation into the Talonflame. And then just go with a fast flight. Discard these 2 Dittos. That would be fine, I think. Or we could bench one of the Dittos, have like one Ditto, bench both Dittos, attach to one discard Ditto, switch, fast flight. I don't really want to Hard Retreat my Pokemon. That doesn't seem great. And then we're actually just boss away from winning the game on this and this. There's a Hearth now. I think I might just go with that fast flight play. We can go like bench, match, discard a Ditto, throw this in play. I just don't like the idea of switch Hard Retreat. I guess we could go switch Evolve, then we have Free Retreat. And then we have Fast Flight for the next turn, potentially. I don't hate that, actually. I do want to keep this last Ditto around, though. So if you transform into this, now we got Free Retreat cost. That's actually a super cool play. And then Heavy Rock Artillery. Yeah. Actually, what I should have done there is I should have attached to the other Ditto, but then I can't Dead-Eye change, I guess, which makes things awkward. But I kind of don't want to Dead-Eye change because I don't want to lose my last Ditto. But I guess now I could calm the Ditto, put the Ditto back in, then Dead-Eye change, which means I don't really lose the Ditto. So I guess that's the best way to kind of do it there. But what I could have done is I could have gone not attached here, but attached to the other Ditto, and that would have worked as well. All right, our opponent hits us with the reset stamp. We're down to an Incineroar and a Cramorant. We do have this in play for the fast flight, but Hard Retreating our Rhyperior is pretty costly. I don't think I really want to do that. It wouldn't be the worst thing ever, but it's not great, that's for sure. I don't really want to Hard Retreat my Rhyperior to fast flight for the turn, but it might be what we have to do here. We'll see what our opponent does. Also, we could just hit him with a Drill Run for the turn, just discard an energy, because we can't Heavy Rock Artillery again, because what it says, can't use Heavy Rock Artillery during our next turn. If we get a switch, we could, and that would actually be game if they don't evolve this. We do have one switch left, but only one switch left. But now here's a Dedenne on the board, so I think our game plan to win this one is just Cramorant Slime to Dedenne. I think that's what we're going to look at to use to close this one out. And there's that Turbo Patch I mentioned earlier. For some form of Energy Excel, they have to have something. There's a Heads. Let's see, do they have... There's a Research. No VMAX yet. Wait, did they just discard a VMAX? No, it was a Silvally. Okay, I was like, they're both shiny. I was like, I looked like they did, but there's the VMAX. It only does 180 though, so we don't get knocked out quite yet. Another Gardevoir getting set up. There's a Tails. And what else does it do? It heals, I believe, 50 damage. Yeah, 50 damage from this Pokemon. Okay, 180. How do we want to handle this though? We could just go with that Retreat, Fast Flight. It gives us like more turns to actually play the game theoretically. And I could bench the Cramorant. And if they knock out my Cramorant, I think I like this. And if they knock out my Cramorant, then I still have a Ditto left to be able to recover the Cramorant. So Fast Flight is doing 80 damage. Even though I discard the energy, they can just kind of attach for turn. And doing 80 damage to something that heals 50 when they attack and has 320 HP. And I don't think I'm actually going to be able to knock out is probably not worth it. Especially like we see they play the Tins. I think we saw them play the Tins. Yeah, they play Suspicious Food Tins. Who knows how many. I think just setting up this Cramorant, trying to snipe that Dedenne has to be like our best line of play for sure. There's a Marnie. We had the Pokegear, which could have got us a Welder. Our Hearth is still in play though, so that's great. So this Marnie doesn't really hurt us too much, to be honest. And who knows, might even give us, hey, it gets us a little bit deeper into our deck and gives us 2 Pokegears, so it's almost that much better. And they don't even KO our Talonflame, so if we just whiff here, so I'm actually not going to use Giant Hearth before I use the Pokegears, because if we whiff, I can just Fast Flight again. But there's a Welder. So get rid of this. Top Deck Welder works. We were going to start with Pokegear, and if we whiffed, then we would just go ahead and attach the Cramorant and use Fast Flight again. But this is a little bit better. May as well just win the game this turn. Yeah, my opponent unfortunately had to put down the Dedenne. But if they hadn't put down the Dedenne, it would have gotten maybe a little bit rough for us to have won this game, to be honest. Silvally maybe would have had to be in our target, because I don't think we were ever KOing that Gardevoir VMAX. It would have been very tough to. But thankfully, they had to use the Dedenne to actually draw into something to do that turn. And it gives us an easy out to close it one out. All right, here we go again. Going second in this one. Got the Cram start. This looks like a Crobat to find more fire energy kind of hand before we Welder. We'll see what we top deck though. We're up against the PikaRom. We got Rhyperior for that fighting weakness. What else is going to be good in this matchup? I mean, that's like the best thing for this matchup, I think. So turn 1, we could actually just spit shot, snipe the PikaRom. But we'll see. That's probably what we're going to do, is just spit shot the PikaRom. And then next turn, if they don't, full blitz KO or Cramorant, we can just spit shot again. Now, that's not as good in a deck like this as compared to something like Tempozard, because Tempozard, you play 4 Fire Crystal. In our deck, we just play that 14 energy, and that's it. So that kind of line can lead us to running out of energy potentially. Man, I don't know what I want to discard here. I think I want to get rid of the boss. I could snipe the Dene and then plan to knock out. I don't even know how I'd knock out the Bolton next turn, so I think it has to be snipe PikaRom. I would have much rather had like a Ditto in play though. If we get Marnie, I guess the worst card would be the Pokegear, to be honest. And I think I should quick wall something as well, because I don't want to just like get knocked out. So we should quick wall something away to go ahead and grab a Ditto. Question is, what do we quick ball? And I think I'm gonna actually go after their Dedenne. Let's get rid of the boss. Grab myself a Ditto. Grab myself a Ditto. Delph a Ditto. Self a Ditto. Yeah, spit shot. Because the way this game could break down is we could just like completely ignore their tag teams and go like, I got this, and then maybe get through the Bolton, and then like knock out another Dedenne if they put another Dedenne in play. We do have that Ditto VMAX, but I don't think I don't think it's gonna be very good here. Excuse me. Using either of Bolton's attacks is not good for us. And they went for the attach to the active, so we know they're trying to knock out my Cramorant this turn. We don't have any way to really respond to this like in a great way. We don't have a great response to my opponent playing it this way, to be honest. And they do get this Chaotic Slowdown, which is super annoying. I do play 4 Giant Hearth, which now I can't put in play. But there's the other Dedenne I was talking about. So now, like I said, we can maybe just ignore their tag teams. Yeah, they're looking for Coco Prism, which looks like they whiffed. So like it's just like another turn to kind of work with here, which is great for us. I might go like Burn, Reset Stamp, Crobat, try and Cramorant snipe this Dedenne. We just have to draw like 2 more prize cards somehow. So we can go like Reset Stamp, Aurora Energy to Cramorant, discard, Ditto VMAX, and then Crobat for 4. Need a Fire Energy. Got, whoa, plenty of Fire Energy. Check Pokegear first. Found the Welder. It's been a pretty good draw. I would really like a Hearth here so I can try and get a Hearth in play next turn. So a Hearth draw here would be great. No Hearth. Okay. I wouldn't mind benching another Ditto, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then we're spit shotting another Dedenne that my opponent didn't have to put in play, but they got a little bit aggressive there, really trying to find that Coco Prism, and we're able to take advantage of it. And now we have to figure out a way to close out the game, though. This is where it can get a little bit awkward. We have no energy set up. We don't have any great ways to close out the game, but there goes my opponent putting down a Mewtwo. So that could be a really good way to close out this game. We'll see. I'm probably just going to try and go in with that Grand Flame next turn. So I can just like set up 2 threats, like I mentioned before. Like setting up 2 threats is really, really good. If I just have all my energy on like one thing and then they just knock it out, then that's not good. If they just knock out that one thing, we're kind of in a spot where we have nothing to work with anymore, and we can just kind of lose the game because of that. Here comes a Crobat. Hopefully they don't find a Marnie or a Reset Stamp, which would both be great, and I'm sure my opponent would be fine with either of those. We are really hoping they don't find either of those because our hand is so good right here. But it's definitely possible that my opponent does find it. And actually, they put 4 energy. Do we just win with Indeedee here? 120. Yeah, they put a 4th energy on their PikaRom. Maybe they're not thinking about Indeedee, but we just actually win here. With that 4th energy on the PikaRom. I don't know why they put that there. I wasn't fully paying attention to their turn. I guess I Coco'd to it, is what happened. Could have put it on the Crobat instead, or actually, maybe they didn't have a great option. But yeah, now we're just going to win with that Psychic. Let me just make sure one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that'll do it. So here, get rid of Indeedee. DOS, get back the Welder 2 to the active, and then hit him with that V transform. Didn't even need to use a Hearth this entire game. Drew pretty smoothly for the scenario. I'm not going to lie. We drew pretty smoothly for the scenario. And Psychic, goodbye, PikaRom. Get our last 2 prize cards. Yeah, I felt a little bit like we opened with the Cramorant. I felt a little bit worried about taking that line of play because we don't play that many energy, to be honest. We don't play a ton of energy in this deck. Play a decent amount, but hey, it worked out and we get a dub. And that's going to do it for these games with the Ditto VMAX or Ditto box. I'll see you guys tomorrow.